What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is down 9.89%, 908 the low, 1005 the high. So absolutely insane day. No news from SoundHound itself today, no SEC filings, and most likely you won't see any news from them until their earnings, which I've seen some posts on social media. A lot of people are under the assumption that SoundHound is going to drop some very big news from their earnings, such as either an acquisition or partnership. That would be very good. Of course, I think that's just speculative at this stage, but again, that would be very good for the stock price. But as of today, it is just the fears that is rolling over from last week. A lot of inflationary fears, so that's what's causing the bloodbath in the market. But more specifically in SoundHound's case, the reason why it is down so much is because of the lower volume. So 25.9 million shares being traded, 52.9 is the average. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. You have one buy that was recently done about an hour ago, 489,000. Everything else aside from that is sells. So normally on any given day, you have SoundHound being very volatile as per usual, but big money is usually there to line up and buy the dip, more common than not. Today, you're not really seeing that. So this is kind of shows how important big money paying attention to SoundHound truly is. Because if you're only having selling and a lot of fear, nobody's really buying the dip, then you're just going to go down. And if you have a stock that is somewhat heavily manipulated through shorts, then that's even more of a bad scenario. So as of right now, though, shorts are increasing 142,000 shares. If we kind of look here, they didn't really do all that much. At the peak, they increased 1.5 million shares, which is rather timid in regards to what they normally do. But then again, with lower volume, that does play a very big part. That 1.5 million straight out the gate. 30.63% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 100.83 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost per average 8.14. That is a annual rate, not a daily rate. And just kind of looking at the overall trend of what shorts are doing, it was looking rather optimistic that shorts were returning, but as you can kind of see right here, shorts are starting to double down once again. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on SoundHound in the comments below. Give yourself a shout out if you are buying the dip or whatever else. Over the weekend, there's been a hell of a lot of articles coming out piggybacking off that fear, saying that we are the closest we've ever been to a massive recession. A lot of people are bringing up articles such as this. I think I actually showed you this over the weekend, but just total credit card balances. Consumers are struggling, like all-time high debt loads. So again, I think a lot of people are just piggybacking off the fear. So if you do believe that a lot of this is an overreaction, then buy the dip, do what you need to do, buy these good, credible companies that have a lot of good future. And as I've stated in the past, yes, I think the broader market in some aspects is rather hot, justifying a potential pullback, not a recession, but a kind of a modest pullback is kind of needed. But SoundHound is a unique circumstance because they add good utility to the overall market. They increase companies' efficiencies. So once again, I feel like SoundHound is a unique circumstance that they can actually benefit from almost any type of economy, even if it's kind of a more of a pullback, like a contraction in the broader market or an expansion. SoundHound, in theory, could be needed. All they need to do is sell themselves. And that's something that I think they do need to work on ultimately. But aside from that, looking at the options, 4.72 million in calls, 3.87 in puts, 56% of all the options being done today are bearish in nature. And of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $12 range. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub $7.50. So polar opposites, but definitely a little bit more downside, I think, is anticipated. And these are all the transactions on a side note on the secondary market, or sorry, dark pool above $100,000. Dark pool is always very, very popular with SoundHound. because a lot of shorts use it. This is how they hide a lot of their transactions and so forth. So let me know your viewpoint on that. With it at $9.28, it is now below this S2. So trading between this S2 and this S3, 603 is going to be that next strong support, and then 1002 is going to be that next strong target / resistance. So on a technical standpoint, SoundHound is definitely breaking down. And you can kind of see that on this chart right here. So essentially the next very strong support you have based on the fib levels at $6 range, and then this 200-day moving average, which is sitting at 805. So once again, on the technical standpoint, it is definitely breaking down. So not the best, but with the earnings right around the corner, you could see some optimism potentially. Stochastic RSI is very oversold. So again, the first piece of news that could come out that's positive, whether it be specific to SoundHound or the broader market, you could see a nice recovery associated to that. But I think in all honesty, it's going to be Nvidia's earnings Wednesday after hours that's going to either save the market or just escalate the downtrend so much more. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Are you buying the dip? When it comes down to a lot of the speculative rumors, do you think any of them are accurate, that they're going to drop some big news for their earnings? And what do you think that's going to do to the stock price? So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, if you're looking for some good buy signals, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.